Well, hello, gorgeous souls, and welcome to another episode of Cosmically Connected. So, today I want to introduce you to someone who is absolutely magical, who I've known for, I think, around 13 years. She's going to remind me, I'm sure. But this is a beautiful woman named Lavender Morantz, and she is a mad manifester. She has created so much magic in her own life. And I can't wait for her to tell us how she integrates spirit with her life, her business, her kids, and her brand new baby, which is called Conscious Kids. So let me just tell you a little bit about who she really is. She's a best-selling, like Amazon bestseller, children's author and illustrator, an international and TEDx speaker, a proud mama of two spirited little girls who aren't that little anymore. And she is a motivated entrepreneur, founding multiple startup businesses over her 20-year career. She is a certified nutritionist and wellness specialist who deeply desires to empower and educate children and families about mind, body, and soul connections through her work and her platform, Conscious Kids. And this podcast episode it just goes so deep and it's very beautiful. And we get to know her on such an intimate level. I love it. I can't wait for you to listen. So without further ado, please meet my friend, Lavender Morantz. Okay. Hello, everyone. And let me please introduce you to the gorgeous Lavender. I mean, like, I don't know any other Lavenders, and I find her name and her whole vibe to be so mysterious and welcoming and inviting and exciting. So let's dive into today's podcast. Welcome, Lavender. I'm so happy that you said yes and are here.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here. I love our chats.
Like, I love it. We're going to talk about all the things that Lavender's currently created and up to. But most importantly, we're really going to, since this podcast is dedicated to that cosmically connected lifestyle, like, how are you bringing all of these things into not only like, first, you're going to tell us about like your business, and then we're going to talk about how you integrate spirit into not only your business, but your life. So
Totally.
maybe first dive into kind of tell us like, what are you up to?
Spirit made me do it.
I'm like, the stars made me do it. That's my
I
line.
know, for reals. Okay, so my latest, actually, let me reach for these
Oh,
guys.
yes, please.
Okay.
Retrieve.
So I wrote and illustrated a few cute, juicy
Oh my
books
God, you
for
illustrate
kids.
them too? Okay,
Yeah.
open one up so we can see the inside.
Okay, so let's see. This one's a cutie. So today I ate the rainbow is all about juicy nutrition for kiddos.
Oh,
Super fun. Feel better, my love is, let me find the cutie picture for you. Is about big feelings and little bodies.
oh my gosh.
And I am, oh, this is a fun one, is affirmations for littles. So the idea with these was a mind, body, soul connection that's really easy to introduce in the home.
I mean, I knew you were a genius because like she's a manifesting generator. So we're going to bring in some of like what makes Lav tick.
Mm-hmm.
As a manifesting generator, you're like constantly starting new things.
I'm actually still learning about my human design, and I find it so fascinating because I'm just like, yes, yes, like this makes so much sense. Oh my God, I'm finally like explained to myself.
Right. And it's like, it's so interesting because and I'm kind of like if my eyes wander people while you're here, it's just because I'm like, I am looking at the chart and seeing like how she's able to create so much. Like I've known Lavender for years. How many years have I actually known you? Over 10 for
I
sure.
would say 13. We're coming
Right.
up on the lucky 13.
And the iterations, like the expansion and the journeys, it's amazing to me how magical it all is. But here, okay, when we're going to talk about spirit, right? So as a pure manifesting generator, she physically, like, and so let me ask you this question. Do you physically feel, in your guts when it's right?
100%. Like my intuition, my gut is my guide, and it's wild to think the times where I've not listened and the times when I have, and it's just like it makes so much sense, and it doesn't matter if it makes sense to someone else. I know that if my gut is like ringing the bell, I'm going to follow that bell.
Well, as a pure manifesting generator, it literally your sacral, your guts is your number one way to make answers. And I'm so jealous of people who have this authority because for me, I'm like, it's mine is so quick. I'm splenic. So it's so quick that sometimes I miss it.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't get the message twice. At least with your gut, it's like a visceral, like, oh, uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-uh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but we'll say like she has the gate of ideas in her Neptune. So it's like her higher self is always like, what about this? What about this? What about this? And then, you have so many ideas that they're not all meant for you. So share with us like the business model, like, I love what you're up to now. And then is this now your full-time project or is there other things?
Yeah. So, okay. I love this conversation because it's not just about the things, it's about like, how did the things come about? And
Yes.
it's funny that we're having this conversation about this specific project because these books have been on my heart since Winslow, my oldest, who's almost 12, was born. Okay. So, with the pandemic garbage that we've all lived through, um, I felt like just that huge like shove off the cliff. Like this is the time
It's
that
now or
this is
never.
needed. You better get this shit done like now.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry for the potty mouth, but it
Oh,
happens
please.
sometimes. Okay, good. And then as the books were okay, so because they're not a print on demand, they're like a board book.
Oh,
It's like manufacturing a physical product. So it's not just like send your manuscript to Amazon and whenever somebody orders, they print one. That's the print on demand model. These ones had to be created and I created them overseas. And while they were being printed and shipped, which was a huge, long process, like 4 or 5 months,
yeah.
just because of the delays and stuff with like sea shipments, the whole idea of Conscious Kids, which is the bigger business, came to life. And initially I was like, oh, I'm just going to write a few books. Okay, great. And then it was like, no, these are not allowed to just be books, was like the download and like that gut punch, that we're talking about.
Yes.
And so Conscious Kids came together as an educational tool to bring that mind, body, soul connection into the home in an easy, translatable way for parents, caregivers, educators. So it's a much bigger picture than I initially intended. But I went with it because it felt
You don't have a
so
choice
deeply right.
when you
Yeah,
get that,
exactly.
like when you get that full body visceral, like
Yeah,
you can't not do it.
you get it, girl.
I get it. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yep, I get it.
Mhm.
Okay, so with the conscious kids part of like, I mean, that's the main umbrella. I mean, you're the main umbrella, but this is like one of the facets to the business is expanding into conscious parent, like conscious kids. And it's funny because
Yes.
one of my best girlfriends is she does conscious parenting through astrology. So she
Ooh, I
actually
love
goes
that.
through charts with the parents and the kids to really identify how to be more in union and keep the family home less like chaotic and more in sync.
I
So
love
it's like
this.
I'm gonna probably screw this up a couple of times just because of the languaging. But I love that more of this, like I'm gonna introduce you to first of all, because it's a definite thing. I think you need to meet each other.
I would love that.
And I was like, this idea of you really helping people to better understand that connection of like these three main elements that you've identified and really showing them practical, tangible ways to integrate these things is like a beautiful gift. So, the one thing that I'm dying to know is where is Conscious Kids going?
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like I said, now more than ever, this type of conversation is needed because our kids are the next generation. They are the ones that are going to be taking over this beautiful planet. And I think that the face of leadership is shifting away from control and ego based into very heart and soul led. So, where Conscious Kids is coming into that is helping our kids through their family environment and educational environment, having a solid, rock solid foundation to lead from their heart, to lead from who they truly are, not this projection, like control, do as I say, not as I do crap, but like truly grounded leadership. And it starts at home.
Oh my gosh, yes. And that like you talk about, so part of my like favorite thing to talk about is Venus, and Venus is the cosmic heartbeat. So she literally connects us to the cosmic heartbeat of all of cosmos. She brings in everything we desire. And when we're connected to that heart-based um way of living, way of leading, way of being engaged in relationship, everything is so much more pure. And there isn't like this weird illusion. It's just not there. It just
Yeah.
isn't there. So tell me, I'm curious, how do you integrate the cosmos into your business first?
Ooh. Well, honestly, I feel like the more I've leaned, I feel like first of all, I've always led and been connected to the cosmos, to spirit, to all of that. I have a number of ways. It's just off screen here, but I literally have like, I'm going to
Show
turn you
us.
a stack of cards here. So I connect with angels, with spirit, with Mama Earth, with nature regularly. This is my daily card today, spiritual growth. It's a magical one.
This is
She's just
exactly what we're talking about.
vibing from the heart. The other thing that's off screen that you can't see are all my gorgeous crystals that sit at my desk every day.
Talk to me
um,
dirty.
yes, right. I've developed a spiritual practice that really helps me tap into like the truth of who I am. And I start with that before I plug into anything that I'm going to do out there. So, mom life, I drop my children off at school first. But they often do this stuff with me too, which is really cool. And also part of why I thought Conscious Kids was very magical. But I have a practice that it is evolving constantly. But I do meditation daily to ground and to like really root into me and my energy so that I'm not bringing other energy in with me. I use crystals for that. I use candles for that. I use oils for that. I use incense for that. Whatever I'm feeling in the moment. I regularly clean and clear my energetic space with sage, with Palo Santo. I know, like, to the non-spiritual person, that it all sounds so woo-woo, but like this is the modern day witch stuff, and it works. It works. Like
Always
I will
work.
tell you,
It's
yeah,
an awareness level. Like, and the more you
yeah,
talk about it, the more people are like, oh, more people, oh, they have crystals on their desk, so do I. It's like
yeah.
a really nice way to connect and feel connected.
It is. And like my littles are so into it. Like this wand over here, this funky one, my 7-year-old made for me. How cute, right? And they'll help me sage the house and like clean and clear energy. We have singing bowls all over the place. And these things are all just tools that help us deeply connect and also unplug from all like the mental clutter. It's like you're
Yeah.
not going to get anything done by like thinking through it. You get stuff done by feeling deeply through it. Like you need to be connected.
And it's funny because, some people are like, you're very physically connected. I believe
Mm,
actually, if I look at your astrology, you're a Virgo rising. People see
yeah.
you as this earth mama grounded, like hippie-esque type woman who actually has her Ceres sitting on her ascendant, which means Mother Earth is there supporting her to grow something big. I mean, not everybody feels like when they tune in, not everybody, yes, we should all like clean and clear inside first, but not everyone is as grounded. Some people are far more mental, so it's nice to
Yeah.
hear how you physically ground in and hone in. And it kind of like you covered not only the business side of how you connect, but also what you guys do together in your home and that you bring
Hmm.
your kids into your practices, which is a really beautiful thing. And I think
Yeah.
more people, as they hear this, will be like, oh, cool. Like I should actually bring my kids along for this ride.
100%. Like this is another note on the leadership side of stuff too, which is I know a more businessy conversation for most people, but I will tell you, leadership starts at home. So our kids do as we do, not as we say. So modeling stuff for them, right? Modeling stuff for them that we know will serve them is so important. Let them in, let them see what you're doing and what you're up to and how it benefits you.
Also being respectful of like, if their sensitivities, like knowing, I will say, like knowing where their frequency is or their energy is. You can meet them where they're at. Like my son has a
100%.
Cancer son, so he's very
Oh,
sensitive,
he's
right?
so cute.
So
I
I gotta
love
like
him.
come down into his level and like go to the feelings, even when I don't really want to talk about feelings, sometimes he needs to
Yeah.
talk about all the feelings,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Um, what else did I want to ask you was if someone asked you, what is your definition of a cosmic connection or a spiritual connection? Like, what is that to you?
I feel like it's very personal to everyone. To me, I would say it's connection to God, source, spirit, nature, Mother Earth, to all that is and all that each of us are. Like, you know, we're not separate from, we are that. And when you can connect to that, that to me is what spirit is. Yeah.
I love that. And is there anything else that we kind of like haven't talked about as far as your cosmic connection? Like, when did you first notice that you had a cosmic connection?
I feel like I've always known. I feel like what happens is it's conditioned out of us. So we forget for this like chunk of time, but we come back to it. Like I was going through boxes at my dad's, I don't know, like a year or two ago, and I found crystals from when I was a kid that I didn't even remember I had. Like it's wild. And I feel like the more I come back to that knowing, it was never oh, I discovered it. I think it was always there. And, the modern world or the industrialized world wants to like, for whatever reason, like pull that out of us. It's not rational. It doesn't seem like, you can't put it
They
on
can't
a chart,
control
even though
you
you
as
can put it on
well.
a chart. Yeah,
You
exactly.
can go rogue and you're a witch. They can't control you in the same way. That's the thing.
Yeah. But I feel like it's undeniable. And it's like when you pay attention, it's like, oh yeah, well, like it makes sense. Like this all makes so much sense. So like my daughters are a Libra and an Aquarius sun.
Mm-hmm.
And so we all
What's
work
the
very well
Aquarius?
together. Winslow, my 12-year-old,
Okay.
she's very sensitive, very empath. And then
She's the generation leader.
she 100% is.
Mm.
She 100%. And she's the one who really brought me back into the consciousness of connecting on an emotional level versus just like I have to approach things very differently with her and very gently with her because she's very sensitive.
Yeah.
And so it took me out of my like steamrolling mode and into.
But like you say, that's that programming. And I feel like our generation was very like, if you were going to be a successful woman in business, you had to power up, you had
Yeah.
to like be a certain way,
You
and
have
you
to
weren't
be a
allowed,
man
yeah, be a
and you're
man.
not a man.
If you showed your emotions, you were emotional and you were
Yeah.
unstable,
Yeah.
which didn't make you a person that would have climbed a ladder quickly. So this is probably why we chose entrepreneurship in the first place.
100%. It's threatening to people. I feel like when we're in our emotional body, we are in our power. And that is threatening to people who A, don't understand it, or B, do things differently.
Yeah, and like there are all the ways, but as we develop and continue to evolve, which evolution and growth over our entire lifetimes, it's going to keep happening. So
Yeah.
you're a little Aquarius, and I love to think, Aquarius people, we talk about the Aquarian age. Well, the Aquarius folks are actually leading us towards the evolution faster, and they
I
are
feel that.
helping us catch up. So it's like they're already at the frequency. We're just trying to match up to their frequency,
Yeah. I
you
feel that
know?
with her. Totally. Yeah.
And so they're helping us get to where we need to go, which is like the greatest gift. But if you don't believe that to be true and you don't try to like listen and understand, you miss the message.
Yeah. 100%.
And your little Libra, she loves all beautiful things. She loves all your
Oh my
crystals.
God.
She's a beauty queen.
She's hilarious. Yes, she does. She had all her crystals out for the full moon a couple days ago. Yeah. She's like, Mommy, get me a tray because they're all coming out. Yeah, for reals.
Get me a tray, woman. Yeah, like she obviously is a true Libran. Like Libra people, they're ruled by Venus, just so you know.
Mm.
So they need the Venus things. They need beauty, they need luxury, they know what they desire. There's no talking a Libra down, but she likes balance. She don't like fighting.
Yeah, she's a feisty one, but she's got that balance for sure.
Right? Like,
Oh
bring it in.
yay. Bring it
Okay.
in.
So tell me this. I mean, I already know your human design, but I am curious, do you have a team right now? Are you like solopreneuring or you have like a team going on?
It's a bit of both.
Yeah.
I do have some support in the way of, my publisher and like fulfillment and stuff for the books. And then I have one other person that I work closely with for the rest of the business. We're very small right now, but I definitely feel the growth and expansion happening. So I feel like if we have this conversation again next year, it'll be a different story. But I feel very supported, and I feel like it's key to not lone wolf stuff. Like even if you are the point person or the leader, to surround yourself with the support that you need because you go further that way.
Tell me this.
Yeah,
Do your support people know about your spirituality? Are they spiritual people themselves? Do you connect?
100%. 100%.
You
Yes.
want that in your culture,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So,
I think if somebody is going to be able to like understand and support me, they have to have dipped a toe in the pond, so to speak.
and like, do you lead that when you're in calls? Like, how do you integrate it? Or is this something you kind of like know intuitively? You just kind of know you're on the
Yeah, I mean, we just all talk about it openly,
amazing.
whatever we're up to or what's worked for us, or you know, yeah, if we found something new that we're excited about, like, we're all sending the crystal memes to each other every day.
Yes, baby.
Yeah, they just they get it because we're on that same page and same frequency and stuff. It's not going to be identical for everybody, but we have that conversation openly all the time.
I freaking love it. And like,
Yeah.
I'm just wanting to see for you too where you're
Tell
grounded.
me, tell me all the things. I love
Mm,
this stuff so
mm,
much.
mm, mm. Well, I mean, your son is sitting in the gate 7, which is all about being the leader and leading from the heart because it runs off the G center. So it's like you're in your heart when you're leading from the heart, that's exactly where you're supposed to be. You know, and you are a storyteller. You've got like your storytelling gates are like lit up like Christmas trees. So there's an element of really like how you've brought story to your business is so like aligned. But when you really know, like I always find too, actually, I'm just gonna quickly take a peek poo to see where your Venus is.
Yeah.
Yeah, your Venus is in the gate 47, which is the gate of mindset. So how you think about, and I know this to be true because I've seen you manifest things and being like, you know, but it's like what you think is possible and really helping change the narrative of mindset in general. How can we think more expansively? Like when you brought this idea to the table, I'm sure some people were like,
Yeah, and even it's funny you say that because even the ones who weren't openly like that, I could still feel the energy of the ones who were like, meh, we'll see where this goes, sort of
but
thing.
then when you started to like play in the potentialities, it's like that vision sparks,
Yeah.
all of this beautiful potential. And that creates a really interesting, feeling not only for you, but for everybody else. When they start to feel you lean into it with your heart, it really attracts more people who are
Yeah, it's
aligned and right.
it's interesting when you can like put those bits together and like you really see it in action. It's very cool. And I think because I just knew deeply that this was what the next step was supposed to be. I almost like I didn't even care. Like I just had the blinders on and like I was just like I'm doing it. Like I don't care if you like it. I don't care if you approve.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. I'm like this is what's happening and you can come along for the ride or you can sit on the sidelines,
I love that. I love that you're so in tune too to just know like, yeah, this is the thing. Okay, so it really sounds like it's so easy for you, but where have you had limiting beliefs around your spiritual connection and your ability to be, one in one with the cosmos? Like, where have you had to kind of do the pep
Yeah.
talk and
There are definitely moments where you question your sanity. There are moments where you feel really alone and isolated when you're doing something new that hasn't been done or that you don't have a big team with. So I think it's in those moments where I'm just like, what did I just step off a ledge that I like? I'm like, there's no coming back from this shit, you know? And there's moments where it's like you put all your resources on the line to make something happen, and then you're just like, holy shit, what did I just do? Yeah. Yeah. And then you got to remember to breathe, move that energy through. I've definitely leaned most heavily on spirit and on that connection and on all those tools the most in my life for this venture.
Yes.
And I've seen the most magical things happen as a result. I think the other challenge is the duality of like the amount to which you can handle the pendulum swinging this way in the negative is the amount to which the universe will allow you to have it in the positive. And so being able to stretch that capacity to hold both.
Yes.
That was the biggest thing for the up level that came with
And
this
that's a
business.
beautiful visual because it's like, how far can you stretch yourself? Like, I'm always like, check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's like, is this going to wreck me or is this going to be okay?
Yeah.
And I ask that question all the time, every day. And I still go and do it anyway, but because I'm like, stars made me do it. I don't have a choice in this, you
Yay.
know? But like, that's a really beautiful visual for people to see. And that it's not always that easy. And
Yeah,
even
no.
get to the place, you're still challenging yourself to continue to evolve, to continue.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. And it's not going to be easy. Growth isn't easy. It's freaking painful. Like think about if you want to like grow a muscle, you got to go like break it before you can rebuild it. Right. It's like, I feel like,
About the breaking because people are like, what? I'm like, you've never lifted a weight before. You do have to tear it a little bit.
you do have to tear a muscle. I know. But I mean, pendulum, wrecking ball, we're not sure what we're going to call it. It's a little bit of both. It feels like both. Yeah. But growth isn't supposed to be comfortable. Like,
No.
yeah.
But it is, it can be fun. And I think you're making this process, like it seems very fun. Now, okay, so where can we get your books? First of
Yeah. So consciouskids.ca.
all, right?
That's
All that
directly.
will be below in the show notes too,
Yeah.
friends.
Yay. They're also on Amazon. They are bestsellers on Amazon. I know it was wild, honestly, wild. It's such a wild ride. Yeah, so Amazon and through my website directly,
And your website is?
consciouskids.ca.
And is there anything else like we missed that you want to talk about? Like I
Yeah,
can,
I mean, I
your,
feel like it's so
your
juicy.
practice is pretty daily. Like your practice
Yeah.
is
Oh,
pretty
100%. It's every day, every
daily.
day, regardless of whether I'm working or on vacation or if it's a weekend or a holiday. Like, I've learned that it is the greatest tool to support me in who I am, regardless of what I'm doing.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I know. I love it too.
Do you have any questions about your charts or anything fun like that you would like?
Yeah. I mean, tell me all the juicy things. I love it. Like, love
Can't
this. I
tell
could
you
sit here all
all
day with
the
you.
things, God's sakes. But I will say this that your beautiful moon, and remember, like the moon is our emotional selves. When somebody truly knows you, they know your moon. They speak to your moon. And your moon, like the Venus and the moon, are the divine feminine frequencies of the chart. And it's funny because like there's only two of them and the rest are all masculine. So this is why I'm always adding in all the feminine asteroids because they give you more expression of like your heart fire and what you're really good at, where you can help with your preventative health and all of this stuff. It's very feminine, right? So your moon sits in gate 10, which is the gate of self-love.
Ooh,
So people who know you know like at the core of how you are emotionally set pointed, it's like self-love is like the number one thing for you.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. And your Venus goes in direct alignment with that because she's like, yes, let's keep our heads straight. Let's keep our mindset clean and clear. And let's make sure we're supporting our self love by creating this beautiful daily practice that nurtures us, that supports us, and that really helps us with our growth so that we can shine as the leader because your sun, what you're growing into, is that leader, and knowing that it takes a village, it takes a team to be a leader, to be the leader,
Yeah,
right?
makes sense.
There's so much juicy stuff here for you, but just knowing that and like knowing, your Neptune is just sitting in the gate 11, giving you all these juicy ideas when you tap in, tune in, and that integrity, being in integrity, for yourself in your work, having all of your self resource, like you have the moral integrity, the physical integrity, which means like you're not compromising things to make things happen, that you're always, and when you do that, you'll be like, you'll know.
Cringy. It's so funny you say that. I've got like a world of post-its here, and I've got like an integrity post-it about integrity first to self, because if we're out of integrity with self, we can never be in integrity to someone else. And it's very much a part of obviously who I am based on what you said, but it's also what I teach, because it's for our kids and stuff too, right?
I really think it's just so powerful to show like energetic signature. Like this is how you're beautifully designed. And you are a once in a lifetime cosmic experience that your charts don't get duplicated for 25,000 years.
That's
So
insane.
if you don't go all in on yourself, if you don't like, and I just got goosebumps saying that, like if you don't go all in on you, the world will have missed out on what they could have experienced being in your frequency.
Love it.
And this is the true frequency conversation. So, gifting yourself with the understanding of like, hey, this is my hot, sexy frequency. And whether somebody's into my hot, sexy frequency or not, like, bye, I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm going to go live this
Peace.
all out. And I don't feel
Little
like you're
hair
the kind of
flip.
person to shy away from like owning all of that. But at times we all wobble.
Oh man. I've been through multiple dark nights of the soul, like where I felt like, okay, this is not just a night, this is like a decade dark night of the soul.
Is this like
So
dark soul?
this cave, how do I get out?
Somebody, please. But like, who do
Yeah.
you plug into when that happens? Like, do you have a community? Do you have like people? Who do you call?
Oh, right. I know. Yeah. So community, but I honestly feel like when you are in a dark night of the soul, there is no place to go except inward. Nothing on the outside of you is going to help you out of that shit.
Yeah.
Like zero. So it's getting really comfortable with liking yourself and growing out of it. Yeah. Like yeah. Nobody's
Okay.
gonna help you
Now I
there.
got one more. I'm like, okay, what have you learned about yourself that you maybe didn't love before, but now you're like, I'm fully owning this for all it is?
That I'm a big weirdo. Seriously, I was always like, oh, like, should I like try to fit in? I'm like, no, fuck no, I'm not fitting in. Like,
Yes.
my weirdo-ness is my magic, and I'm cool with that. And it's like, it's also the places that have made me in my past feel very alone and isolated, or feel like the black sheep, or not
Like weirdo.
fit in with. Yeah, I'm like turbo weirdo, but my weirdo-ness is my magic, and the more I've embraced the fact that I'm not like everybody else, the more it has actually served me, and the more comfortable I've
Okay,
become.
wait. Tell me where you feel like a weirdo, because I don't see this. I mean, I don't see it. So tell me, like, where do you?
It might just be like my like subconscious, like the way I like see things, but it's been from birth. Like I didn't feel like I fit in with my family, didn't feel like I fit in with school, didn't feel like I fit in with groups. Like I could kind of migrate from group to group to group, but there was not like, okay, this is my group. Very much like the black sheep.
I love this because I love that we're talking about this actually because your son is in the 12th house, which is like the house of like hidden secrets and the house of like,
Mm.
so your identity, part of your identity is now, and you're growing into your son. This is about being the leader. It's like you're now coming out of the closet, if you will, to become the leader you've always been
Mm.
here to be, but it's
Have
conjunct your
goosebumps.
Mercury. So I love that you're talking about this because you're talking about this hidden parts, like what we've hidden about ourselves, what you've hidden about yourself, because your house, your Leo house is in the 12th house, which means like that's where you claim your stage friend. Your
Mm-hmm.
Leo house is where I got goosies again. I'm like goosed up today.
I know, me too. I feel like it's like full body.
Yes. I'm like, yeah, baby, let me own that stage. Flip my hair back and be like, this is my stage. And you get to own that. Like, I think probably too, having your Gemini at the midheaven, it's like people can see, you shining in like this light and this light. Well, who is she really? But like you get to tell that story.
Yeah,
You
very much. Yeah. And I've been accused of like, oh, well, you're not yourself. Or like, oh, that doesn't sound like you. I'm like, dude, all of those are me. I'm a dynamic person. Like, back
I'm
off.
multi-dimensional, multi-conscious, multifaceted, multi-creative, a multi-everything.
Exactly.
This is like my 5D self or whatever
Love
D.
it. Exactly.
I'm like 2000D, you know? This is my
Precisely my point. Yes.
level D. But yeah, I will say
Yeah.
this. Yeah, you've got a lot, like it's time to own that stage and to talk about this. I feel like you sharing that information, like I've always felt like this, but now it's like you get to come out of the closet and own the stage
Yeah.
of that
I feel that. I
energy,
feel
of that
that. Yeah.
frequency. Oh,
I feel that
I
big
can't
time.
wait to read the post you write because of that.
Oh man.
So we'll
Yeah.
put all your beautiful links here. Now, like, is there any other nugget you feel like you'd like to gift to this cosmically connected audience?
Ooh.
Any final nugget?
Yeah. I mean, use what works. Use what works for you. Like, I feel like we intuitively know because we connect to it. And it's like that, and give yourself permission to adjust as you go and just build something that supports you in terms of your energetic toolkit, whatever system works for you. Use all the things.
Just
There's no
all
limit.
the things, all the parts of
Yeah.
you, all the
All the
hidden
things.
things.
Yeah.
I'm like putting them out of the closet, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of the closet. And you know what's funny? Actually, I have another story for you if you don't mind.
No. Got
All the
all
stories.
day. Keep going.
Okay. So my middle name is Claire. And I was always
Oh,
like, well, how do you get a middle name like Claire when your first name is Lavender, blah, blah, blah. And my parents were like, it's your backup name in case you hated your first name, which I don't. So I'm okay. But I was always like, ugh, Claire. And I found out recently that it wasn't just Claire, it was Clara de Luna, which is light of the moon. And I'm like, oh my God, goosebump moment because I've always felt such an insane connection to the moon. Full moon, new moon, all the moons,
Lavender Clara de Luna.
right? And I'm like, huh. And again, it's like all these little nuggets that like you're piecing together from like, why did that feel so meaningful? And then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, there's more to it.
I'm like, if I was just thinking as you were
Mm.
even talking that, like the Claires, so Claire audience,
Yep.
Claire sending, like
Clairvoyant.
all the
Yeah.
Claires, like
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Wild, right?
oh
Wild.
my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yay.
I freaking love that. I love you. I'm so grateful you shared your like sexy frequency with us today and that we, can all go run out and buy those books for our people. And like, somebody who can use these, and really plug into this part. Like, thank
You're
you
so
so much
cute.
for
Oh my
being
gosh.
here with
Thank
us.
you. This was an absolute dream, honestly.
Come on, I love you. I mean, was that amazing or was that amazing? I know you all love her as much as I do now, and you have new insights on how you can integrate your cosmic connection to your life on the daily, whether you're doing that through your business, with your team, with your kids, and just in life in general. It's a really powerful tool to keep you connected, mainly to yourself, keep you in your zone. So, thank you everyone for being here today. I am Tara Kindon, the Celestial Manifester. And as you know, you can find me on Instagram at Tara Kindon Co. or on The Witch in the Wick. And you can also go to my website, www.tarakindon.com, to find all the juicy offerings, but I will specifically mention the Celestial box right now. So if you kind of liked how I quickly flipped through Lav's charts to go and see, okay, well, how is this showing up for you and a little bit about why? Also, this celestial box is not just about products. Yes, I create gorgeous products that help you really anchor in, the energy of the full moons, the energy of whatever season we're in. And my candle is burning, so I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to burn my hands off, but I've got one in the back here. You get lots of beautiful products, but you also get me. You get me looking at your chart, helping you understand your energetic signature and decoding the mystery behind what makes you tick. So, if you want to join us in the Celestial Box, all of the details are up on my website. So, you just go to tarakindon.com/the Celestial Box, and I'll put all the links below. I cannot wait to help you really decode and understand and accept and give yourself the permission to fully own all of your magic. Thanks again for being here, everyone. And I will see you on our next podcast episode. Take care.